everyone. Alhamdulillah, marilah kita panjatkan puji syukur kehadirat Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, karena berkat rahmat-Nya lah kita bisa berkumpul dan bertatap maya untuk bersama-sama mendengarkan sharing dari pembelajaran yang kita laksanakan selama 1 semester dari kegiatan International Joint Studio. Kita juga akan mendengarkan pembahasan begitu ya, atau juga tanggapan dari beberapa pembahas. But before we proceed to our program today, we would like to express our sincere gratitude to Bapak Insinyur Muhammad Wasis Wildan, MSc PhD, the Dean of Faculty of Engineering UGM. Good afternoon, Pak Wasis.
Good afternoon, Bu Yani.
Thank you to Bapak Deva Foster Harolda Swasto, ST MSc PhD, the Head of Department of Architecture and Planning, Pak Deva. Thank you to Ibu Dr. Yori Herwangi, the Head of Bachelor Program of Urban and Regional Planning. Also, Dr. Engineering Muhammad Sani Royhansah, STMN, as the Head of Master Program of Urban and Regional Planning. We would like also, good afternoon, Pak Sani. Thank you to Ibu Isti Hidayati, STMHD PhD, the Secretary Program of Bachelor of Urban and Regional Planning, UGM. We would like to also express our sincere gratitude as well to the Head of Cooperation from French Embassy for Indonesia and Timor-Leste, Bapak Stephen Dover. Bapak Dover, selamat siang.
Selamat siang.
And then thank you to Jean de Vataire from KotaLab. Also all of the team from KotaLab France. Bonjour. We would like to also thank all of the university partners from the Urban and Regional Planning of ITB, UNDIP, and Universitas Brawijaya, Ibu Teti, Ibu Arini, Ibu Wiwi, Ibu Wati, and Pak Johannes. And last but not least, our discussants from Spatial Planning Agency of Yogyakarta City, from IAP and ASPI, Planning School Association, and also from the Indonesian Planners Association. Ladies and gentlemen, starting from February 27th this year, an online international joint studio has been held, which has initiated by KotaLab France and Urban and Regional Planning Universitas Gadjah Mada in collaboration with 3 other national partner universities, including Urban and Regional Planning of ITB, UB, and UNDIP. And the theme for the International Joint Studio this year is Implementing Urban Regeneration in Indonesia, a case study workshop on the heritage area of Kota Baru, Yogyakarta. The lessons are very important and unfortunately not shared with the public at large. In particular, the 2 communities, the professional community and the urban and regional planning education community in Indonesia. This seminar, hosted with the aim of sharing various lessons learned from the implementation of International Joint Studio, especially lessons related to Merdeka Belajar Kampus Merdeka, MBKM. So, through this seminar, hopefully participants will get innovative ideas on how to manage MBKM. Without further ado, I would like to ask our Dean, the Dean of the Faculty of Engineering UGM, Bapak Insinyur Muhammad Wasis Wildan, MSc PhD, to open the session. Pak Wasis, please, the time is yours.
Okay, thank you, Bu Yani. Honorable Head of Cooperation France Embassy for Indonesia and East Timor, Bapak Stephanie Dover, Head of Department of Architecture and Regional Planning, UGM, Dr. Deva, and Head of Master Program in Urban and Regional Planning, UGM, Prof. Bobby, and honorable speakers and facilitators from KotaLab, France, ITB, UNDIP, UP, UGM, and all the participants of this joint studio 2021. Good afternoon and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. First of all, on behalf of the Faculty of Engineering Universitas Gadjah Mada, I am very pleased to welcome you to this joint studio 2021. Welcome to Yogyakarta virtually, and I hope that you are in a good condition and health. As we know that we are still in the difficult situation due to pandemic COVID-19, where we face many limitations, such as we have to keep our distance, to avoid crowds, to reduce traveling. However, I would like to congratulate and to appreciate to the Master Program in Urban and Regional Planning, UGM, that has successfully conducted this International Joint Studio 2021 in collaboration with ITB, UNDIP, UP, and KotaLab, France. I do believe that this Joint Studio 2021 will be very beneficial to all the participants, especially our students and also academic staff, who can learn in solving a real problem in the topic about the implementing urban regeneration in Indonesia, with a case of study of Kota Baru, Yogyakarta. I hope that this program can also be in line with Merdeka Belajar and Kampus Merdeka, which is one of the very important program launched by the Ministry of Education and Research, Republic of Indonesia. And also, I do hope that this Joint Studio 2021 can also strengthen collaboration among us. To conclude, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to the speakers, to the facilitators, organizing committee, all participants, and everyone who have made this event a success. I wish you all have a productive sharing and discussion during this Joint Studio event. And by saying Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, I officially open this International Joint Studio 2021. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bapak Dekan. Silahkan Bapak kalau ada kegiatan lain bisa dilanjutkan.
Yes. I'm sorry I cannot attend this meeting fully because I have not a meeting in the beside room. Yeah. So have a nice discussion and hope you are very have successful discussion today. Thank
Thank you
you.
very much, Pak Wasis. Ladies and gentlemen, we are also honored by the attendance of Mrs. Manuel Frank, Professor of Geography specialized in Indonesian Urban Studies at Paris Sorbonne University, and former chairwoman of the prestigious National Institute for Eastern Languages and Civilizations. Bonjour.
Thank you very much for welcoming me personally.
Thank you for attending our session today. Also, we would like to thank to one of our discussants that already here with us, Bapak Dr. Irwan Endaryanto from Center for Academic Innovation and Studies, PIKA UGM.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Pak. Ladies and gentlemen, let's move to the opening speech from Bapak Stefan Dover, Head of Cooperation from French Embassy for Indonesia and East Timor. Bapak Dover, please, the time is yours.
Thank you, Ibu Mulyani. I'm very glad to be with you today because you are all professors, prominent academics, practitioners of urbanism and development. And this is very, very, very crucial for Indonesia. Protocol has been already established. I just want to acknowledge the presence of Pawaziz Wildan, but he has just left, Pabobi, Professor Ditap, and all the distinguished colleagues, including the French ones, who are numerous because they have been very powerful and important in the program. Not to mention that there are some people around the table who are not purely academics, but who are very much involved in the urbanism. I see that Mathieu Kai is here from Green Building, and there are some other activists, NGOs, and that's crucial because it's a big family. Urbanists, in a way, remind me of, I don't know if you appreciate sport, but I love sport. And for me, an urbanist is an urban planner, and anybody involved, committed in urbanism, is like a track and field athlete. And especially like a 110 meters hurdle races. I don't know if you see what it is. It's a race you have to run fast, but you have hurdles in front of you, and you have to overpass each and every hurdles. In fact, there are 8 hurdles in a 110 meters race. And let's figure out what could be the hurdles for you. Habitats first. Let's consider it as the first hurdle. Buildings, architecture, private and public housing, how to manage the fact that people have to live somewhere. Then you have, of course, the traffic, roads, highway, how to make the circulations going on. This could be the second hurdle, why not? The third hurdle is private and public transportation, because of course you have the car, you have the people who walk, you have the bicycle in some cases, not that much. You have public transportation, could be many kind. And then you have, as a fourth hurdle, water management, because if you don't have water, you don't have life, but water doesn't come from nowhere. And water has to be clean, and water has to remain clean after being used. So waste management could be, or maybe, or fifth hurdle. Waste management, solid waste as well as water, waste management. You could have also the electricities on every needed and requested commodities that people are allowed to use or need to use, and should pay a price for that, but it should be a reasonable price for everybody to have access, if possible, but not excess their consumption as well. And then you have the green spaces, because it's important for a city to breathe as well, and to remain a part of its total environment. And let's consider the 8th hurdle as urban management, because without any proper administration, proper planning, proper daily management, you can't have great cities. Those are the hurdles. But when you are a competitor, when you are an athlete, you don't only have the hurdle, you also have the competitors. Who do you compete against? I think that you have a couple of competitors. First competitors is demographic growth. Demographic growth is such a challenge. I was in Indonesia 30 years ago, after having studied at the institutions that has been aided for long by Manuel Frank. Hello, Manuel. And we were together more or less learning Indonesia at this time. And after my study, I had 4 years in Indonesia. And at this very moment, in 1990, Indonesia had 180 million inhabitants. Nowadays, it's 272 million. Means that you have you have more than 1/3 in addition. Means that it's a real challenge for urban planners. For the quality of a city, it's really a challenge. And urban population has grown even faster. From 30% of the population in 1990 is my year, the year I arrived in Indonesia, that's why I mentioned, to 56% in 2020. So you see the extension, more proportion, a larger proportion of a larger population, mean larger and larger, addition plus addition. And then you have another competitor, is the economic growth. $138 billion in 1990, and nowadays it's 1,100 billion GDP, GDP. Means that, of course, industry is at stake, consumption needs are at stake, production is very much at stake, and everything is part of urban planning. So we definitely need to get more athletes and better trained athletes in the field. So that's why what you are doing is so crucial. And I think that because you have to enter across the competencies, the qualities of people, you need to have such kind of projects that you are, and that are fairly backed by Campus Merdeka and Merdeka Belajar project. Because it allows the students not to be only students in their comfort zone, but to move ahead, to go to the urban planning and to have an experience in it, to be part of NGOs' work, to face a population that is at need of assistance, help, or development in cities, and of course to go abroad to pursue their studies. As we did mention, just because before the opening of this seminar, we have plenty of opportunities for students' mobility. 15 universities, French universities, are nowadays in the list of the Camp-Digbud, in the list of the LPDP from the Minister of Finance. So I am very, very glad of these opportunities that are great. And I'm very, very sure that because of the power of your proposal, because of the consortium that you constitute by being so numerous of large universities and very committed institutions, you will be very successful. And I am very sure that this International Joint Studio 2021 on urban planning is certainly not the last, and maybe even by far much smaller than it will be in the next future. I expect you to become stronger and stronger, better and better, taller and taller, considering the power you already have. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dover, for the opening speech. Also, we would like to thank you for the wishes for all of us, and also for the appreciation for our initiative. Thank you. And then the next one, we would like to hear the introduction, also the report of our International Joint Studio 2021 from the coordinator of the studio. He is also now serves as the head of doctoral program of Urban and Regional Planning Faculty of Engineering, Universitas Gadjah Mada. Profesor Bakti Setiawan, Pak Bobi. Please, Pak Bobi, the time is yours.
Terima kasih, Bu Yani. I think I'm not really the coordinator, but perhaps more as provocateur. Is that from French language, Stephanie? Provocateur, yeah. Because Yani and other friends who really coordinate the whole process from designing into the seminar today. And to start with, maybe I can start by saying that actually what we did is kind of regular joint studio, which we did already for several years. Yeah. But this one is very special in two things. The first, that this joint international studio have been the collaboration of even we can call as consortium of 4 prominent national universities of Indonesia, right? ITB, Bu Teti, where's Bu Teti? UNDIP, Diponegoro, Bu Wewe, Pak John, Brawijaya University and Gajah Mada. Imagine 4 prominent universities in Indonesia working together closely to provide interesting program. And then, of course, 6 of professional planners from France, ya, dikepalai oleh kepala sukunya Mr. Julian. KotaLab, ya. This is quite excellent, ya. Sehingga so I'm going to very short briefly reporting this interesting initiative. Maybe in bahasa gado-gado, Stephanie, since I put already in English. For Indonesian audience, maybe I will speak in bahasa Indonesia as well as bahasa Inggris or bahasa gado-gado. Yeah. Quite a lot I like to report, but of course because of time I try to be short and try to put into 7 aspects of the report. Yeah. Pertama, introduction, of course. Second, briefly to share to you the management aspect of this initiative. Second, the case study, which perhaps Julian will tell more on this one. Fourth one, very briefly on the GLO, course learning outcome, if we can use that term, a process and methods of the studio. And then example of the outputs, yeah, which will be perhaps also represented briefly by the student involved in this interesting exercise. 6th one, more important, is the lesson learned, especially for the Kampus Merdeka. And last one, of course, recommendation for future action, which already pushed by Stephanie, that we should have a better, stronger exercise in the future. Ya, terima kasih Pak Stephanie. Tapi ini teman-teman dari Indonesia ada 3 tujuan yang kita pikirkan when we started to initiate this with Julian, ya, several years, because we did already, not online but offline joint studio 2019. Ya, Julian, you can explain more. And that in which at that time 2 weeks intensively, 4 or 5 professional planners from France voluntarily came to Indonesia. Stephanie, imagine, voluntary came to Indonesia, spent 2 weeks at that time. Yeah. Teach our students, Stephanie, yeah, for free. Imagine. This was very interesting experience, and from that experience, 2019, we come to initiate the online course during the pandemic. So it's also another aspect that pandemic benar-benar tidak mengurangi semangat kita untuk kolaborasi. Imagine, ya, pandemi tidak mengurangi semangat kita untuk kolaborasi. Ya. Tapi 3 tujuan yang kita inginkan waktu itu adalah di dalam era yang sangat global itu, kita tentunya berharap bahwa perencana kita yang dihasilkan dari university mampu merespon dinamika global dan lokal, termasuk isu-isu perkotaan yang tadi Stephen sudah menjelaskan, global issue on urbanization. Ya. Lalu juga perencana harus mempunyai wawasan yang terbuka dan membangun kolaborasi jaringan dengan global community, termasuk professional friend planners from France, ya, and perhaps in the future also another professional planner from other countries. Ya. Ketiga, perencana juga harus mempunyai ability dan skill untuk collaborate and working on planning cases with professional global partner. Ya. Kita akan hidup di dalam global village, global community adalah satu keharusan bahwa lulusan-lulusan kita mampu bekerja dengan global partner. Ya. Oleh karena itu, tujuan dari International Joint Studio ini ada 5, yang mungkin saya tidak harus sampaikan satu persatu, bisa dibaca, tapi ini yang mungkin Pak Irwan dari PK yang mungkin somehow nanti we can link to the idea of Kampus Merdeka, ya, whether our objective in this exercise are directly or indirectly linked to the idea of Kampus Merdeka, in which, to my perspective, to provide students with real life experience, to provide students with experience working in real condition, yeah, not within the campus environment, including also working with professional planners, including also to experience to solve with current and unique problem. In this case, for example, urban regeneration. Ini Pak Irwan yang nanti kami mohon masukannya, whether our exercise are to some extent meeting the idea of Kampus Merdeka. Because if yes, then we can somehow improve and strengthen this exercise in the context of Kampus Merdeka. Bagian kedua yang menarik, ini teman-teman ASPI, kalau ke depan mau replicate this kind of exercise, this is quite interesting and also complicated. Yeah, imagine that we have managed this exercise with 4 prominent universities, including also and then also professional planners. Ya, bayangkan kita melibatkan 8-10 lecturer ya dari ITB, dari UI, dari UGM, dari UB, 6 professional planners, 2 asisten. Ada 36, benar ya Bu Yani? Aku malah lupa. 36 ya Bu Yani ya, from 4 university ya. 35. Ini pun yang daftar banyak ya. Jadi ini ke depannya so many interesting students to join, but unfortunately we have also only limited space. So for this exercise we have only 36 students ya. And that's already a lot for us ya. Butuh waktu yang panjang, quite long term detailed preparation ya, test of email, exchange, zooming, debate, and bertengkar dengan Julian ya. Very interesting, and also based on yes, we have formal MOU between KotaLab and Gajah Mada, but to some extent also based on more gentleman agreement among us. Yeah, so friendship, trust, personal, informal connections very important in this context. Teman-teman ASPI, kalau ke depan kita berkolaborasi, pastikan bahwa we based on trust, informal network, personal, and common interest. Ya. Yang tidak kalah penting ini Pak Irwan, Kampus Merdeka seperti ini kalau nggak di-handle oleh dedicated concern person nggak akan jalan Pak. Bu Yani, Mas Dimas, Mas Dito, Bu Teti, ya, Bu Wiwi, biasanya hanya orang yang suka aja yang mengadakan ini. Pak Irwan, ini pelajaran bagi teman-teman ASPI lain tuh ya. Ini members of the partner ya, di kami ada 4 dosen, 2 asisten. These are the guys from France, ya. Kepala sukunya Julian, Vinci. You can explain more on your session, Julian, ya. Flor, Mara, Franz, Matthew, Pak Mas Mamat, ya. Philip, ya. Very interesting and dedicated professional planners working with us, ya. Bu Teti from ITB also very much involved in this context, ya, very critical as well. Bu Teti terima kasih, masukannya banyak sekali. Bu Wiwi dari UNDIP, Bu Wahidah, ya, Pak John. This was very interesting. Ini great faces of our student, ya, tidak semuanya tapi 36 ya. Bayangin 36 mahasiswa dari 4 universitas nggak pernah ketemu. Dan selama 1 semester itu ketemu only virtually, and kita campur itu grupnya ya. So one group consists of students from different university. Stephen, imagine that those all students are never meet together, and they are trapped into one single group online, and we provide them with very hard exercise ya. Ini menarik sekali teman-teman, dan terbukti bisa ya. Teman-teman ASPI bisa itu anak-anak kita itu bergabung dengan cepat, berkolaborasi ya melalui online. Kasusnya Kota Baru, Pak Wahyu, terima kasih dari Kepala Dinas Tata Ruang Yogyakarta. Ini juga kasus yang 2019 kita pakai. Nanti Julian akan memberikan penjelasan lebih jauh mengenai approach ya, urban regeneration approach. Ini cost learning outcome-nya ya, kalau kita menggunakan Pak Irwan ASIP ya, kalau Indonesia istilahnya teman-teman ASPI apa Bu Yani, capaian pembelajaran ya. 3 capaian pembelajarannya kita pastikan ada ya, to meet with our curriculum for example. Ini nanti kalau detail terlalu panjang ya, tapi 36 mahasiswa itu dibagi menjadi 4 kelompok, divided into 4 groups ya. Lalu ada koordinator yang masing-masing quite complicated ya, especially because of the online system ya. And Bu Yani nanti bisa juga present mengenai bagaimana kita menggunakan berbagai media and tools ya. Ini ada assessment plan-nya yang student juga have to know in the beginning how we will assess their performance ya and result ya. This is the detail schedule, teman-teman bayangin ya sepanjang satu semester. Dan ini menariknya teman-teman dari Prancis because they are professional planners and only free on Saturday, Stephen. So they are dedicated every Saturday for our exercise. Thanks for Julian, dedicated their whole Saturday for this exercise. Ya. Menarik. This is nanti teman-teman ASPI mungkin ini bisa di-share ya Bu Yani. Supaya bisa direplicate ya teman-teman, tapi dimulai dengan preparation lengkap sekali, bayangin persiapannya ya, very detailed preparation for this exercise, including also case lecture ya related to the subject. Pak Ika Putra, thanks Pak Ika Putra for lecturing on our student about the urban regeneration and Kota Baru. This is the output ya. And unfortunately, because of the time, we can have enough time to present the detailed output. But it was excellent. Ya. Bayangin mahasiswa dari Malang, dari ITB, dari UNDIP yang nggak selalu tahu mengenai Kota Baru. Stephen, imagine that student from Malang, Bandung, Diponegoro University who have no experience in Yogyakarta, even Kota Baru, can work together with students from Gajah Mada for a specific case Kota Baru, and they were able to, provide interesting output. And that's why we invite also people, Pak Kepala Dinas ya Tata Kota, Pak Wahyu, the head of the Urban Planning Agency of the city Yogyakarta, to provide also comment on the output ya. Ini luar biasa ya. Mana yang dibangun dan sebagainya, very interesting teman-teman ASPI, very simple but interesting. Ini yang mungkin menarik ya dalam waktu yang pendek. Ada 5 pelajaran Pak Irwan yang kami rasa penting melalui exercise ini. 1, membawa mahasiswa partisipan to outside campus environment. Ya ini mau saya semuanya tetap di work from home ya, tapi dengan bekerja dengan kasusnya Jogja dengan Julian and friend itu kan berarti dia bekerja dalam lingkungan di luar kampus ya. Challenge student participant to deal and to solve contemporary urban problems, regeneration. Julian will explain more about this one ya. Provide student participant experience to work with professional planners ya. Provide opportunity for student to work with student from various universities. Provide students to communicate with international community, in this case global language English, and maybe with French language next time yeah. And then provide students to be able to effectively join a master online training yeah. This is something important. We also experience a lot of things related to the media, online courses and so on. From our side, this exercise also provides important lesson, at least 5. Strengthen national and international collaboration for sure. Increase knowledge on youth-specific approach in urban planning, learning together, sharing with Julian and friend on urban regeneration. Provide sharing knowledge views among academics lecture from various university. Ya, Bu Teti, myself, ya, Pak Bu Wewe, very much interesting collaboration. Ya. Provide university to work collaborate with professional planners and including also bureaucrat, because in this context we work also together with staff of the Pak Wahyu from city government. Increase knowledge and skill in organizing an effective and efficient online courses learning package. Bu Yani, aku nggak tahu yang gaptek ini Bu Yani. Because Bu Yani would decide this one ya.
Okay, thank you, Pak Bobby. About the lesson learned, actually about the tools or media that we use during our joint studio. Actually, we really found that the synchronous and asynchronous tools can be very helpful during our activities. So in this synchronous process, as usual, we use Zoom meeting for online lectures and also student presentations, but also we use WhatsApp group. This is also to help the students to get to know each other better, because they are from different universities and different degrees, so they need to make some discussions more in the WhatsApp group. Also for online group discussions, we used Miro, as you can see in the picture here. This is one of the collaborative tools that we can use, and this is very helpful for us to do some collaborative work synchronously, by online. And then for the asynchronous process, we use learning management system from Google Classroom, because each of the university has their own learning management system. So we agreed to use Google Classroom as the LMS. And we also utilize the website of Komunitas Kerja Kawasan. This is established from the previous work of International Joint Studio in 2019. So we also posted some of the progress and our process on the website. Maybe that's all, Pak Bobby, the lesson learned from the media tools.
And this is very important lesson, especially for ASPI, Planning School of Association Planning School Indonesia. If not only during pandemic, but post-pandemic, I think we will we still continue can continue to organize joint studio through online, because this is very efficient and effective to some extent. Yeah. Last one, this is our recommendation. First, among us, we agree to evaluate, of course, to improve and replicate, and even strengthen, as Stephen mentioned. And this one perhaps particularly to reference to MBKM principle. Second, we may need more formal legal status, because so far, of course, Pak Irwan, we have MOU among university, but for a specific exercise, maybe we may develop what we call technical agreement. We also propose that this exercise can be put a more formal legal status. We are talking about, yes, we put this into our academic transcript. We provide student participant with also certificate, and also, of course, this exercise will be put into apa itu Bu, istilah suplemen ijazah, ya. Suplemen ijazah, ya. And then of course, we like in the future to also invite foreign students, because that's what we already done so far. But for this case, we have only Indonesian student. So I know here we have a professor from mana Bu Yani tadi, Ibu Manuel, siapa itu?
Sorbonne.
From Sorbonne, maybe next year we will be interesting. Imagine if we can also we have a student from France, working together with Indonesian student. Another interesting in terms of media, as I mentioned before, we started it offline in 2019. We now use online, and the question whether we can develop a hybrid model in the future, combination between offline and online. And then the case will be very interesting, but we were thinking of contemporary global new approach in urban planning. Next time maybe we can choose Sorbonne as the case study. So Indonesian student will experience to, let's say, provide recommendation for Sorbonne, for example. That will be interesting. That's all, Bu Yani. Teman-teman, maaf sekali ya, saya terlalu bersemangat untuk menyampaikan banyak hal. I'm sorry, Stephen. Please, I have to stop here. There's still a lot of friends like to share their experience. Terima kasih, maaf.
Thank you very much, Pak Bobby. Terima kasih banyak, Pak Bobby and everyone. We are also happy here that this seminar is also attended by our colleagues from Planning School Association of Indonesia. We have many lecturers from UNS, Prof. Winnie, from Unsia, from Universitas Terbuka Jakarta. Yeah,
Meet
and
you.
from terima kasih Prof. Winnie from Brawijaya, from our university partners as well. And also the seminar is attended by our colleague from the NGO, non-government organization in Yogyakarta, Solidaritas Perempuan Kinasih. Selamat siang Bapak Ibu. Okay, the next one, we would like to hear the introduction and also approach about the urban regeneration processes in this joint studio, and we would like to hear more about KotaLab. So I would like to invite Mr. François and Mr. Julian to share about it. Mr. François and
Selamat
Julian,
siang.
the time is yours. Selamat siang.
Selamat siang Bapak dan Ibu-ibu yang terhormat.
Selamat siang.
I would like to talk about our experience from KotaLab part, and after Julien will talk about our experience in France and comparison between the two countries. First, I would like to thank our Indonesian partners, including Ibu Teti from ITB, Ibu Wiwik from UNDIP, and Bapak Jo from UB, and with a special thank to UGM team led by Bapak Bobby, Bapak Dimas, Mas Dito, Ibu Yani, and Ibu Aisha. It was a very pleasant and very rich experience we shared together. So, terima kasih. Next, please. I want to share with you our feedback, but first maybe we can say who we are. KotaLab is a non-profit organization based in Paris, and we have been working in partnership with UGM since 2019. And our goal is to share our experience and to learn from our partners and to learn from your Indonesian experience. So we are not from Indonesia, we are French, and we are not academics, we are just practitioners. And we want to share what we learn from our practice and from our skills, because we are a team of professionals with different skills and complementary areas of expertise. For example, urban project management, civil engineering, urban regeneration and heritage, or energy efficiency and sustainable buildings, or even community participation or water engineering. So we do it, we make it in our professional life, and we are happy to share it in a practical way. Next, please. Next. Yes, thank you. So how did we work with you? We tried to share an urban regeneration approach to focus on the scale of a full district. It was not a scale of a large town or a little scale of buildings, for example. We were in a middle range scale. It was a scale of a district, so it was quite interesting to work on that scale with the facilitators and the students. And we tried to guide the students to design and to implement a project based on a comprehensive and prospective understanding of change underway. So next, please. So we work in 3 steps. Our approach was to implement the project in 3 different steps. The first one was stakes and goals. We asked to the students to define the stakes and goals of the what they want to, how they feel about the district, and how they imagine it will be in 20 years, for example. So it helped to define stakes and goals. And when students can have defined their vision of the future of the district, after they can go to the second step. The second step is the project design. So it's imaginative steps where students can draw and imagine what they want to do in the district. And the third and final step was the real conditions implementation. So next, please. And for that third step, we imagine to work with a serious game. We imagine and we define a serious game that simulated the real condition of urban project. So it was a quite fun experience. So you can see two pictures. The first one was the experience in 2019. So it was in real classroom. So we share and play with the students in Georgia. It was really interesting and fun. And the second one is the last experience. So it was online, and we realized a little game online, and I think it was nice too, because we had a lot of exchange and fun with that game. But that game is a serious one. We called it Livelihood Maker. It simulates realistic conditions for the urban project manager, and you can implement the project with regards to real life parameters. And I think it helped to understand the key factors of success like budget management, stakeholder governance, land management, participation and communication, partnership with the real estate sector, time management. So I hope it helps the students to become a real city maker. They can go inside the reality through that game, and not just stay in theory and books, but try to go in real life and to make real things. Next, please. So now our feedbacks. At the beginning, we asked to the students, do not stick to the rules. We hope that the students could be innovative and to forget the regulations, rules, and things like that. And I think it has been a success, because with the time, with the exercise, the students managed to accommodate with the rules when they try to design the project. We ask also to not care much about technical matters, because we wanted that the students be imaginative, and I think it happened too. They succeeded in developing a prospective vision, a real vision of what they want to do with the district. And also, we hope that the students would not be shy. At the beginning, I think it was a bit the situation, because it was online, it was in English, it was not really easy to communicate very fluently. But I think in the time, and especially with the game, it was also quite a success, because with the game, everyone could talk and try things, and I think the self-confidence has grown up because of interactions and fun, and the game was very helping for that, I think. So I want to say terima kasih to everyone. It was really a pleasure and a very rich experience, and I think all the team would be pleased to continue and to make it again. If you agree, and if you want to continue the experience, it would be really a pleasure to share experience with you. Thank you. Terima kasih.
Terima kasih. Thank you, François. Julian, do you have anything to add?
Yes, please, if we can continue the
Yeah,
the
sure.
slideshow. And thank you very much, Ibuyani. Thank you, François. You may ask a question: is why doing this with French partners and not American or Japanese or Dutch? And is it because just France is a beautiful country like Indonesia? Or yeah, of course, it's for sure like that, but maybe there are also some other reasons. And among the reasons, there is something very weird, is that both the Indonesian and French planning systems and decentralization are very similar. People said it comes from the Napoleon civil code, but not many countries in the world share so similar legal and institutional frameworks. So that's already a good reason. But maybe there is also another reason, is that France has developed a very particular way of managing existing cities with a few key principles. And among those principles, one is that strategic planning is not enough to obtain sustainable cities and to implement good projects. Regulation is just to regulate, it's not to develop. The second thing is that all countries in the world face very fast and swift urban sprawl. And if we want to curb urban sprawl for environmental reasons, for example, we need to be able to regenerate existing cities, which is quite difficult, but I think it's a challenge we need to tackle. The third thing is that sometimes urban planners think that a city is mostly made of infrastructures and public space, but we believe that it also includes the private developments and private owned land, and it's very important to tackle this issue as well. And the last thing is a more financial approach that refers to land value capture. Yeah, it's very strange. A few weeks ago and last year, we were joking with Pak Bobby, why in Indonesia it's always the public pays for everything and the private gets all the benefits from it. So I think it's an interesting question to tackle. So maybe next, please. So let's just take very quickly, don't worry, I will not be longer, an example. This is the area around the train station in Bordeaux city in France. And Bordeaux has been served by the high-speed train connecting to Paris a few years ago. So we had a question and a challenge to regenerate the city around the train station. And around the train station, all the land was already occupied by industrial or logistics or rail activities. Some of them were decaying or going down. Maybe next, please. Next, please. Thank you. So the way we manage urban projects in France, the first thing is that we try to identify land that would be suitable for development. It's not necessarily public-owned land. It's not necessarily empty land, tanah kosong. It can be occupied, but we think that maybe the land use and activities and buildings could be redeveloped because they do not really make sense with regards to the current challenges faced by the city. So what you can see in yellow is the land that the city decided to redevelop. And most of it was private owned, sometimes by the railway company, sometimes by private companies, sometimes by individuals. And then the second step that sounds very important is to decide what we are going to build there. And the building, what we call the program, should be an answer to the target of the city. How many people do we want to accommodate here? Bapak Stefan Dover said that Indonesia is facing the challenge of demographic growth. It means that cities need to accommodate more people. And what kind of social classes we want there? Only the rich, or do we also want that there is some space for the middle class or the poor in this area? And the same goes for corporate real estate. Do we want only offices, or do we also want some crafts or creative economy activities? And what are the public facilities we need to provide for all these people? So that's what we call the program. Maybe next. So then it's only by then that we can start and begin the design, because we believe that the design should be at the service of the ambition and of the program, not the contrary. You know, sometimes architects and urban designers like to draw, and the content of the project is just the result of the drawing. We think we need to do it the other way. So you can see there that there are some buildings we want to keep them, so the one in the red, because they are heritage buildings, but there are also buildings that maybe are not that interesting, so we do not mind to demolish them and to redevelop new buildings. All this is imagined and designed and planned by the public sector, but of course it will be the private real estate sector who is going to invest the money and to develop that. Maybe next. So here you have some views of the results. So if you come to visit Bordeaux, you would be able to check that it's not only illustrations, and now it's becoming real. And you can see the effect on the real landscape is because we had a clear view of what we wanted to do on the public space, but also on the private space. And on the heritage building we want to keep, and the buildings we don't mind developing new architecture and new programs. It makes a very coherent city and a very livable city. Maybe next. Okay, doing all that takes time. Implementing an urban project takes time. So it requires a very strong leadership to drive both the public facilities and infrastructure. So we know in Indonesia, that's the role of the Bapeda, especially, but also to drive the private-led programs. And maybe here there is something interesting to explore, how the city government can drive the private-led developments in line with the progress of public infrastructure. Maybe next. And here we come to the land value capture. So on the left, you have the costs, and on the right, you have the benefits. And what you can see is that the city decided to buy land, 226 million euro, and sell back the land to the private sector, 277 million euro, meaning that the city could get some land added value. Why is it fair? It's because it's the city who creates the added value of the land. So we claim part of this value, not let it only to land speculators and big real estate. Maybe next. Okay, that's just about governance, because of course, especially with decentralization in Indonesia, we need to partner with all kinds of institutions, including national, provincial, local, but also the railway company and so on. So we try to create a government that is very coherent, but also very strong at the same time, in order to maintain the cohesion throughout the project the process of project implementation. Maybe next. Okay, that's my last slide. And I would like to conclude, if you allow me, Ibu Yani, that I think that as urban planners, whether academic or practitioners, we are all activists for better cities. And I like Pak Bobby saying we also are provocators, but it's provocator with good intention, right? Good-hearted provocators. And as activists, I would like to say on behalf of KotaLab, because KotaLab is a group of people, and we are all very committed and honored to be offered the opportunity by Pak Bobby and friends to be activists for better cities in this wonderful country that is Indonesia. And I think the reason why we spend so much time and energy is because just as all visitors to Indonesia, we fell in love with the country. And we are very happy if we can continue this love story with the country and Indonesian cities. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much. Merci, Buko, Julian, and Francois. Thank you for the invitation to Bordeaux. Maybe, I don't know, yeah, maybe online, yeah, next year or next semester, we can visit Bordeaux, maybe by online. And thank you also for sharing the French way of thinking in urban planning to our students as well during this joint studio. And now we would like to also hear reflections and also lessons learned from our students. So we already selected two representatives of the joint studio participants. So please Mas Gusti Aditya from UGM and Mbak Fatima from Universitas Brawijaya, please share your experience during this joint studio, international joint studio. The time is yours, Mas and Mbak.
Thank you, Bu. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Introduce myself, Fatima Zara from Brawijaya University, and Gusti Aditya from Gajah Mada University will give a message and impression of International Joint Studio 20 and 21. First of all, we would like to say thank you for the facilitator because giving me the opportunity to represent my friend for give impression and message during in EJS with all due respect and proud of them because they are very competent and enthusiastic in carrying out these activities. And we would like to say thank you for the facilitator of KotaLab and UGM who have organized and facilitated EJS very well. And also thank you the facilitator of UNDIP, ITB, and UB who helped and gave us the opportunity to join and participate in the EJS. During EJS, we have gained and received a lot of valuable new insight and experience. In my view, EJS has provided an extraordinary opportunity for students like us to develop skill and insight about something new, as well as expand our network. The lesson we learned were especially about urban regeneration, new analysis like BU, design, learning methods, application, and public speaking. This is our activities on EJS. The challenge we faced in EJS was about time management to work in group because we have different activities, priority or schedule, and then the short time of studio, and sometimes to explain something with activities like this. And so we hope that EJS will continue to be better studio, always and ever more creative, if collaborate with more universities like this, can be held directly or offline after this pandemic over. And Furthermore, there will be more learning process and method, as well as more reference, explanation, task reminders than before. This is for me and will be continue with Mas Gusti Aditya.
I will not take a long time because it has been stated by my friend. I just want to add a few things about testimonial and feedback. Hopefully, it will representative from our team, I mean students. I would say that during this time, I would confidently say if this has been a really, really valuable experience. We are currently facing the COVID-19 pandemic, just limiting our movement and communication, especially to the student team. And we were also limited in knowing the direct condition in study area, but it was not a reason because the current technological advances. Not limiting the situation, we have been greatly helped by social media such as WhatsApp and Zoom. So we could get to know a new friend each other, not as an imaginary, thankfully. And I hope this relationship that has been built could be continued to happen on other occasions. A lot of knowledge sharing that has been given from the lectures, especially knowing the planning of a comprehensive area in Kota Baru as a case of study. Honestly, I still want to get know more deeply, especially the team from KotaLab, because I am still curious about the planning system in France, what types of documents and policies regulate, and so on. That's why for the feedback for the next slide, but I must say that the implementation time of this international studio was too short. But I found that the output, and sometimes I found that the output of the task requested was not very clear, but I hope it was because of my poor English skill. But from all, there is no better word for me to convey than the highest appreciations to all the lectures, especially from Kota Palu and the different several universities that joined this international joint studio. Maybe that's all I can say. I hope we can meet and work again together on the next occasion. Of course, hopefully in a real condition. Thank you. Terima kasih and merci. Bonjour.
Thank you. Terima kasih, Mas Gusti and Mbak Fatima. Thank you for your honest reflections and also testimonial ya. Mbak Fatima is the bachelor students, everyone. So Mas Gusti is the master student. So we have both representative ya from both degree, bachelor and master. Thank you very much, everyone. Once again, applause to Fatima and Mas Gusti and all of participants. Yeah, thank you very much for your eagerness, yeah, and to join the studio. And hopefully, I don't know, in another opportunities, maybe we can have another discussion about this. Yeah, for the next one, we would like also to invite all of our university partners. So we will have the representative of facilitators from ITB and also from UNDIP and Brawijaya University. Please Ibu Teti and then Ibu Wiwi and Pak Johannes sharing your reflections from the facilitators' point of view. Maybe the first one, Bu Teti. Please, the time is yours.
Good afternoon. I will not use. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for the opportunity to give some reflection as part of the partners here in the International Joint Studio. And thank you for having us from UGM, from KotaLab, and also from UNDIP and UB to be able to work together in this exciting studio with our students that would be our future planners. So they're exciting, and I'm also part of the exciting group engaging in these activities, considering that this is not just about the exercise in the university, but this is also an exercise that will take the students to the professional work, as we are hearing what has been presented by the KotaLab about how the professional planners work in the international setting, especially in the French setting. And what I have seen in the process of doing this studio is unlike anything that I have learned before, particularly first, as a planner, when we look at our cities and we don't see our cities as an empty canvas, but it's actually has already people lives in it, has already problems happens inside it, and that's what we will see cities in the future, is not an empty canvas anymore. And what do we do about it? And we know we suddenly engage in conflicts. We know we suddenly engage in something that has the past. And with this process, we know that as planners, you just don't plan. You go on. Planners here will go on in long haul. After plan, you engage in urban design, which means that even if some of us might reluctant to be involved in urban design, but that's still a part that for planner is an important subfield, an important arena to which that we can contribute towards design. Not only for those who claim themselves to be urban designer, we also can claim to be an urban designer, as there are some movement internationally that said the design is for everybody. It's not limited to those who are professionally schooled in urban design field. And that's when in our exercise in the studio, about flow, about form, about what kind of building that we'd like to be seen, are being put in place in the process. And then further than that, we also goes into the project management section, which has been presented also by Francois as well as Julian regarding what's going on once our plan and our design has been put in place. And that's where we gone down to the target. We gone down about simulation after we doing scenario building, where in our process, it's the most exciting part for me is engaging in gamification. And it was mentioned by Francois how gamification was being done. And in that, we actually experience, of course, experience virtually about how to deal with our space. And start off with real estate and go on with the floor area ratio, and also about buying and selling. Like it or not, planners has to also learn about land prices, about potential land prices in the future, about land value capture, potential prices in the future as well. And that become embedded knowledge that planners, I guess, need to learn when we finally materialize that into somehow a real estate project or real estate activity for the next 10 years. In our exercise, we've done that for the next 10 years to go. So basically, we are in for a long haul. Now, what kind of concept that we do learn in this situation? A couple of concepts that planners not only learn about planning process, procedural planning, but we also more and more have to understand about the substantive matter of planning, such as we'd like to learn about gentrification, not just because you want to specialize, but because as general, as comprehensive planners, you need to learn gentrification as well as modernization, traffic jam, slum, revitalization, walkability, public transit-oriented, public space, infrastructure, land use by private sector, how private sector actually contribute to infrastructure development. Those are part that is important in building our communities. And don't forget our coded practice that everything we have to put it into a floor area ratio or land area ratio. Yeah, in Bahasa Indonesia would be KDB or KLB. It's actually is similar to what is being expected from Omnibus Law, that we have to come up with KDB and KLB. When engaged in a simulation and putting things into practice, that's when we learn about the concept of real estate market. Buy and sell, capturing values, land value, as I mentioned before. And during the simulation, we also recognize that there is a role of legislator in it, community support, real estate support, about traffic and urban quality. Those are 5 perspectives to which that we'd like to consider, not only but.
Yeah, we already contact our IT team. Mas Arif, please help us, yeah, the IT team. Sorry for the inconvenience, everyone, Ibu Teti and everyone. Thank you very much, Ibu Teti, for the reflections. Okay, thank you for the suggestion, Pak Randy. Maybe let's continue to the next one, reflections from Ibu Wiwi, yeah, as the representative of facilitator from UNDIP.
Thank you. Yani, can you hear my voice clearly?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, Bapak Ibu, students. It's really a great honor for us from UNDIP to be part of this joint studio in collaboration with MBKM, ITB, with UB, and of course with our French partner. And yeah, I would like to make it brief. I would like to take this opportunity to give the very much appreciation to everybody who has been worked very hard to make this joint studio work, especially to UGM who already coordinate, and also to our French partner. And certainly, we hope that this first joint collaboration will be continued for the following years. Pak Bobby has mentioned in the chat room, we have ideas to make this in different hosts, could be in TB, could be in UNDIP, and could be in UP. And also, I'm very happy here we have some colleagues from Planning School Association, and hoping that in the future we can broaden and also create more other joint studio to ensure that our students can learn each other and have a wider experience. And of course, I need also to mention this is a really good momentum, since we have the Curriculum Merdeka release, and we should take not only as a challenge but also as an opportunity to accelerate the collaboration among stakeholders, not only among universities but also with other stakeholders in regard to the urban and regional planning. Content-wise, the most reflective things that I would like to share in this opportunity is the way the French team initiate or promote a very interactive games. They call it as a game, and Julian said it is as a French way. It really attract my attention, since okay, if there is a French way, so what would be the Indonesian way, or maybe other ways? But anyway, I think that this French way is very interactive, and it also give more motivation for the students, even though their language barrier, even though we need to do it online, but then this kind of interaction game is very very great and bring a kind of real experience, yeah, for the students to really learn, not only theoretically or conceptually, but they can really learn how to do it in a more practical way. And of course, the exchange ideas among different facilitators, not only between the French and also Indonesian, but also among Indonesian facilitators, really a good experience, yeah, for us, and worth it, yeah, to be continued in the future. Yeah. Lastly, again, I would like to emphasize my hope that this collaboration will be continued, expanded not only with the Indonesian students. Maybe next time we can also invite students abroad. And I believe things like this will enrich the experience, not only for the students, but also for the facilitators, the staff, and hopefully next time we can do it offline. Maybe the French team from the KotaLab can come to Indonesia. Very much welcome. Thank you, Bu Yani and other partners. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Terima kasih. Thank you very much, Ibu Wiwi. Once again, everyone, we do apologize for this inconvenience. Yeah, we got hacked by someone, but we already consulted with our IT team, and hopefully that problem will not occur again in the next session. And the next one, we would like to hear reflections and also maybe testimonials from Pak Johannes, our partner from Universitas Brawijaya. Please, Pak Jo, the time is yours.
Thank you, Bu Yani. My humble regards to the colleges from KotaLab, UGM, ITB, UNDIP, and the speakers, and also colleges from ASPI and IAP, the students and other participants. Firstly, let me introduce some of my colleagues in this Zoom room. First, welcome to Ibu Ismurini Dwi Ari, our Secretary of Department, and also Bu Kristia Mediana, the head of Master Programs, and also Pak Adi Pandang Yudono dan Ibu Dian Dinati. Welcome. Okay, let me to share screen. Yes. I would like to discuss a little about some experience we have during the International Joint Studio. In the studio, we have provided some materials to our students in the form of lectures, mentoring, presentation, and discussion, and also practices. I mentioned mentoring because actually we collaborate with our practitioner partners from KotaLab, yes. And in the corridor of MBKM, we fit the IGS into 3 elective courses, and each participant student has 1 elective course. And of course, in the first instance, we have so many questions about how we can do the joint studio in the collaborative joint studio, yes, in the international atmosphere and also online. So we have so many questions, but because we have some intense cooperations, yes, institutional collaboration and also student collaborations, so we can fix the questions. So this activity is not only the student collaboration, but also the institutional collaborations, in which we have do some activities such as networking, sharing experiences, sharing programs, and making new opportunities also, and then evaluating the IGS itself. What we have done in the semester, I would like to explain this using this analogy, yes, we have two big groups in this activity: institution representatives and students. In the side of institution representatives, we have UGM and KotaLab who have initiated this program. They have developed the core values and formulating the curriculum, and also together with other university, yes, we do some consolidations, preparing the next agenda, and also refining the mentoring strategy. So we can say that it is not the static activity, but more like a dynamic activity. So we can provide lectures and mentoring to our students, in which they have work in some groups. Yeah. And then what we need from the next IGS, as something that have explained before by our college, that we have some problems regarding the COVID-19, and we hope that in the next year we can do the same activity, yes, with the real field studio. I mean that we can meet in a place and do something real. We can go to community, doing interview, etc. Yes, and we hope that in the next activity we can do some innovative methods in community participation and other local issues. Also, we need a progress in the COVID-19 recovery to do this. Yeah, and then we can have some close engagement of students, foreign and local facilitators as well. And then also, we will need the more formal academic administration regarding MBKM. Yes, I think that's all, some of my highlights about the IGS.
Thank you very much, Pak Johannes, for the highlight. Thank you, Pak. Thank you once again, all of the facilitators from our university partners, especially Bu Teti, Bu Wiwi, and Pak Johannes. Also, thank you Ibu Wati, Ibu Arini, for your hard work and also for allocating time for our students during our international joint studio. We really appreciate that. Thank you very much. And then the next one, let's move to our speaker, discussants. Our discussants. So we would like to hear the impressions maybe, or comments, or maybe some sharing experiences from the head of Land and Spatial Planning Agency of Yogyakarta City, Bapak Wahyu Handoyo Harjono. Please, Pak Wahyu, the time is yours. Silakan Bapak untuk menyampaikan pembahasan atau mungkin ada diskusi dan juga komentar atau input untuk International Joint Studio ini. Terima kasih.
Terima kasih. Thank you, Bu Yuni. Good afternoon, everyone, all the participants of this meeting, our friends from the academic universities, Universitas Gadjah Mada, Universitas Diponegoro, Brawijaya, and Institut Teknologi Bandung, and also from the friends, KotaLab, and so on. So it is an honor for me to join in this meeting. I'm as a government official, really appreciate of this program, International Joint Studio from Indonesia, the prominent universities as Pak Bobby said, and also from French. It's a collaboration from Indonesia, the government of Indonesia, and the government of France. So, like Pak Bobby said, it is to use this collaboration to make students have to have an open mind and have ability in outside campus environment. Also, they face real life condition such as studio objects. For example, in this case is Kota Baru district. And also, it makes students have to face complexity of the problems. For instance, thank you for all the participants to use or to choose Yogyakarta City, especially Kota Baru district as a local, as our part of our city to be a object or a locus for this studio. As we know, Kota Baru is previously is called a garden city at the colonial era, but now Kota Baru face many problems. How we can sustain this area to cope all the dynamics problem, economically, spatial problems, and also the social problems. So it is for me, for Yogyakarta City, really appreciate that all your support, all your contribution in this joint studio to choose Kota Baru district and use these outputs or these studies, this outcome to make our new insight or new views as the governments to use these outcomes to be our other consideration in our local development. As our friends said, I think in this international joint studios, to at least we have to know or to use the French ways. Julian says that the French ways maybe is different from the American ways, Japan ways, and others. So, and to Jakarta City, we have many experience with the French, our French friends. Like at the previous years, we conducted the experience use the terminology of eco districts. Also from the grant from collaboration from the government and of Indonesia and French government. Also, after that, after eco district program, we have at the time we want to replicate or use the terminology of eco district in the French area to implement in our city, Yogyakarta city. But unfortunately, it could be not well done because there is a problem with national problem. I think with the final problem between the government of Indonesia and the government of the French. After that, we have experience with the, I think like Julien Bergin and also our friends from France. We have experience with the studio like energy efficiency and sustainable buildings. Some of our governments, our official government, we conduct this collaboration with the French French university or French government. So I think it is with the use French ways to elaborate the spatial plan at Yogyakarta city. At more or less we have experience in the previous time. And now from the case study of the Kota Baru, we can say that the challenge of these students to use as a studio in international joint studio, there are many challenges because our government in the really real problem, we have a boundaries from the national law. For instance, like special plan law, heritage law, public works laws, and so on. And so in the provincial law, you know, Yogyakarta city, we have a special province. So we have a specific local law. It mandated that some part of the city is become like a heritage area. Also Kota Baru. So it is there is many limitation to use Kota Baru to develop Kota Baru in a development way. And Kota Baru, for instance, the sport venue of Kota Baru, Stadion Kridosono, there are many problems in this sport venue. The first, it is land owned by the Sultan ground from the Sultanate place, but it managed by the provincial government. Not only the provincial government but also the local enterprises, provincial enterprises. In this case, this area of Kota Baru is administratively is belong of the Yogyakarta city government. So there is many challenges, many problems that we have to cope with. Before we have to produce the outcomes of this, for instance, like this studio. But I really appreciate some students in Indonesia, Universitas Diponegoro, Universitas Gadjah Mada, ITB, and Brawijaya, and also students from the French. They can collaborate with virtual collaboration. They can cope the many challenges, cope the many problems, and finally produce this studio outcomes. I really appreciate, and I would like this cooperation can be sustained. We can continue in this international joint studio and enlarge and expand in other universities, other governments, and also other local government. So finally, I'm the government of Yogyakarta official. I really appreciate, and it is our honor to be to join in this meeting, and have to. I hope we have another meeting in another next time and another event. Thank you. Good afternoon and success for all. Thank you. Terima kasih Bu Yuni.
Terima kasih banyak. Thank you very much, Pak Wahyu, for the discussions, and thank you very much that for the. Ya, silakan Pak Bobi.
Pak Wahyu, the idea was actually to provide the copies of the poster to city government, and you can display in your municipal government our student work.
I will, Pak Bobi. Thank you.
Yeah, we will send it to Pak Wahyu. Yeah, Pak Wahyu. Yeah, I would like to invite Pak Bobi as well, actually, to join me moderate the discussion. And later on, yeah, Julian can also join the discussion. But beforehand, we will invite our second discussions from ASPI, from Indonesian Planning Association of Planning School Association. Sorry, from ASPI, Pak Iwan. Bapak Iwan Rudiarto.
Ya, halo.
Selamat sore, Pak.
Selamat sore. Suaranya kedengeran nggak ya?
Ya, terdengar. Wah, ini komplit ya. Ada Pak
Kedengeran.
Iwan, ada Bu Wiwi.
So, Bu Wiwi just next to me actually.
Okay, please,
okay.
Pak Iwan. The time is yours,
Yes.
Pak.
Okay, thank you, Bu Yani. So, good evening. No, good afternoon. Yeah, good afternoon, everybody, and good day to colleagues from France. And yeah, especially to our lecturers from ITB, from UGM, from UNDIP, from UB, as well as students, and the other colleague as well from ASPI. So this is a great meeting, yeah, because we at the end we have the final version of the student work from the studio, joint studio between those four mentioned university, as well as with a colleague from France, Julian. And I suppose Julian can speak Bahasa, yeah? Because last time we met, we speak in Bahasa. Okay, so yeah, from me, from the education side, from ASPI, actually this is a great experience for students to work together, yeah, between those four universities. But again, it will be, this is my remarks, yeah, actually. So yeah, it could be also more interesting and will give a great challenge as well if we can include foreign student from France, as for example, yeah. Why? Because our student, our local student would have also experience with foreign student, just like we did usually with three-party work with UGM, UNDIP, and some student from Radboud in Holland. And this kind of joint study, I think this is also already been a common practice between universities, yeah, abroad and also in Indonesia. And I believe that UNDIP, ITB, UGM, and UB has great experience about this kind of joint studio. But again, we can expand more to other universities under ASPI. Yeah, we can also invite other urban and general planning program, mostly. Yeah, I think from a private university is also fine, because with the program from the government, what we call as MBKM, Merdeka Belajar and Kampus Merdeka, it will be a great challenge and opportunity to us to work together and also to share experience, to learn each other about the study program, about one cases and so on. So just recently, we also got kind of opportunity, I mean, an offer from the Ministry of the Special Planning and Agrarians that they also provide what we call as intensive, yeah, for up to 6 months. So if you would like to express and you want to expand this collaboration within these universities, we can also make kind of the study or a independent project, because this is one of the component the type of the of MBKM. I think this is a great experience as well, yeah. But again, we need a host for that, yeah. Then yeah, we can after that maybe in the future, maybe next year, yeah, we can select another host. This year will be UGM, maybe next year will be ITB, UNDIP, or UB, and so on, and will make this collaboration more fruitful to all of us. I don't want to speak to talk too much because it was already mentioned a lot by Pak Bobby in the beginning. I see also some point that he already made, yeah, from the presentation, and also a lot of contribution from our colleague partner lecturer from Bu Teti, from Bu Wewi, and also from Pak Johan, yeah, from UB. So I think this is a great experience. We should follow up this experience again with wider context maybe, or with more participants, yeah, under the Association Planning School of Indonesia. Thanks, thank you very much. I think that's all from me, and I wish you all succeed for the next program. And we also waiting, really looking forward for the next program, maybe next year, and hopefully everything will be okay next year, so we can conduct this kind of activity with offline system. Yeah. Once again, thank you very much, Pak Bobby, Bu Yani, and team from UGM, and also our colleagues who already participated in this joint studio, and especially French colleague, and also from Yogyakarta Municipality, yeah, Pak Wahyu.
Pak Iwan, I think we lost your voice, Pak.
His voice.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Pak Iwan, for the support as well, yeah, from ASPI from the very beginning until the end of this joint studio, and hopefully more and more universities will be able to collaborate to host this kind of activities, yeah, Pak Bobi, as part of Merdeka Belajar Kampus Merdeka, and also hopefully it will open more door for collaboration with the other partners overseas. Thank you very much once again, Pak Iwan. Pak Bobi, do you have anything to say?
I mean, Pak Iwan, forget to mention that in 2022, ya Pak Iwan, ASPI will be the host of the Asian Planning School Association and also World Planning School Congress. So maybe Pak Iwan, we can discuss somehow how in the future we can have the same choice today with international students from global university, including also the possibility of competition, planning studio competition for the APSA and GPED 2022 in Bali.
Yeah, so we will welcome you in Bali in 2020. Okay.
Thank
you,
you,
Pak Bobby, for your reminder. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much, Pak Bobi and Pak Iwan. Also, this year, we have ASPI has their Congress, National Seminar and National Congress. So perhaps this kind of collaboration can be one of the topic of the discussion during the Congress as well. Thank you once again, Pak Iwan. Let's move to our third discussions. We have Pak Andi Simamarta as the head or president of Indonesian Planners Association.
Nggak mau dia disebut head, mau dia disebut
presiden. Ya, Pak Iwan, Pak Andi.
No,
apa
just
kabar?
kidding. Hi, yeah. Again, congratulations for the all committee organizers, participants, and also the universities, both from France and also Indonesia, that has, I think, the idea and also the implementation will inspire us as well, as a professional organization. It is, of course, very enjoyable to learn from the story and also the report of the program. I think it's not easy also to manage 36 participants and also how to coordinate among each other, especially the baseline information from each students about Kota Gede, for example, and how the meaningful relation and process to develop understanding and also to synergize the idea to provide solution for this for this studio. Again, congratulations. And maybe the second thing that I also would like to see your opinions, how to then we can also invite as a participants the other disciplines, because in the planning practices, I believe that sometimes we need to work with other disciplines. Perhaps in the tourism aspect, we can also talk with the tourism market analysis or analyst, or perhaps in the historical or archaeologists and other things. So how then it will also inspire for professional organization like IAP, Pak Bobby, we have also forum for ASEAN, Southeast Asia, Southeast Asia Planning Institute, I think it will be interesting, although we are also expecting that COVID-19 will be ended soon. So then we can also, let's say, adopt this concept to have it as a professional activities as well. And in my thinking after hearing your presentation is that how then I can work with architect, for example, landscape architect, and also the geologists and other things. So then maybe it's not purely a planning studio, but it's still planning, but we also invite the other things, the other disciplines. And maybe the last one, the local people itself, how then we put them as a part of the solution and as a part of the team. It's a transdisciplinary research. It will be, it's just my reflection, after heard your presentation and your report. I believe it will be a good initial step, and it will open the doors for the creativity and innovation for us in the professional organization to follow it up. And thank you for our colleagues from French community. It's always good to have French connection. It's just like a concept that I think you always have a good influence for our education and also practices. And good luck also for the Euro 2021 for the France. Hopefully you can also come to the final. Okay, I think that's all, Pak Bobby. And maybe the last one for the all participants. Don't forget and please keep your professional work. Continue to the professional one. Join IAP for the Indonesian participants, and let's rock our planning practices, make better cities, and just do what you think the best for your country. Keep the spirit. Okay, Pak. Thank you.
Terima kasih Pak Iwan. Pak Andi ya. Ada
Thank you,
dua
Pak
Bu Yani
Andi.
menurut saya teman-teman. Satu adalah tadi the fresh ideas gitu ya. I was almost asking Pak Iwan on how many docent in planning school Indonesian are graduated from France. I guess only very few. UNDIP, for example, the university who have a docent, a lecturer graduated from France. Kita nggak ada ya Bu Yani ya. Gajah Mada in planning school. It's unfortunately that we have no docent lecturer graduated from France.
Belum ada.
School. Yeah. Well, maybe in the future, Julian and also Stephen, we may discuss with Stephen on the possibility of sending Indonesian academics to planning university. I think we have Professor siapa? Sorbonne.
We have our from Sorbonne, Manuel.
Yeah. But the idea is that in the future we can also invite also French university to join our exercise. That's one thing.
We have our last discussion, Pak Bobby, from Pika.
Oh, Pak Irwan.
Pak Irwan Ender Yanto from Center for Academic Innovation and Studies UGM. So maybe Pak Irwan could also share the reflections or discussion about more about Merdeka Belajar and Kampus Merdeka and how to link it with
Nah, maybe
this
not to share, Bu
activities.
Yani. Pak Irwan harus memberitahu kita
Yeah.
betul apa enggak? What is
Yeah.
maybe what are the right or wrong of our exercise in relation to Kampus Merdeka? Pak Irwan, makasih.
Ya, silakan Pak Irwan.
Prof. Lupi, Yani Maturun. Okay, so good afternoon, everybody. So let me go fast because we already run out of time. So
sorry.
My name is Irwan Endrayanto from Center for Academic Innovation and Studies. So let me first introduce to you what is various type of MBKM activities. We already published a kind of manual for how to conduct MBKM in OGM. The link is below. I will give the slides to Bu Yani. There are 9 types of activity. The number one activity what we have done, I think here is a student exchange. So let me concentrate on this students exchange. So actually the procedure is quite simple. That the students register and there is a selection, and then the process of selection, and then the evaluation, and the monitoring, and then the assessment. And then after that, there is a kind of conversion, how many SKS, how many credit point should be there, and then we can report to dictate. That is the final step. That is very easy. But actually, what is more important is this concept. Let me go back to the Indonesian qualification framework, what is it called, KKNI. That every curriculum has to contain all these 4 elements. This moral and ethics, work competence, knowledge and comprehensive skill, and responsibility and accountability. This is level of independence. And if we see the level of our education above, so let me put the pointer here on. So this is the formal education that we have. We have the level S1, which is bachelor, is the level 6 of this Indonesian qualification framework. I will show you later what is in there in level 6. If we see another dimension, which is a career advance, which is the practitioner, and also there is also the professional certification that could be also up to level 6. They don't have to be a master, but they can master officially from the education, but they can also have this qualification up to level 8. So this is a kind of 4 diagram experience based. So the career advance, professional certification. That's also this association that joined this meeting. I think is also important to have this kind of what kind of level actually 6 and what kind of level actually 8. And then we see that it's a different level between a bachelor and master, especially in this qualification. Let me go directly into detail what is level 6. So first, Prof. Bobby already presented about the learning outcomes. So the learning outcome of level 6 should be applying science, knowledge, technology, and then mastering something, and then taking a kind of strategic decision and responsible for himself or her own job. I saw one reflection video from group 2, I think. This uh, part is appear a lot. I think the skill, the soft skill, is developed a lot in this setting of online learning and all this kind of distant learning discussion, and now try to solve together. But then if we go look at the level 8, which is the different level that master degree, they have to solve something, science technology. There is an emphasis on the inter and multidisciplinary approach.
Yeah,
so if we want to have this into a curriculum, then Prof. Bobby and team should able to have a different learning outcome for a master student and different learning outcome for a bachelor degree, because it has a different type of different level of what is it called, the qualification.
So that's why we have to look into detail later when we want to make it into SKS as credit point. So as we might see that Bu Yani already mentioned about the LMS with Google Classroom, but I suggest that next time you can use our LMS ALOC because this is Moodle based. Google Classroom is not really LMS, it's not a comprehensive learning classroom. We already have it for a summer course, so maybe this kind of activity can be extended into a kind of a summer course that is the amount of credit I think is up to 4 for 2 weeks of summer course, and then you can have 4 credits point. Is that easy? It's very easy to translate into there. This is a kind of activity that we can have in LOC because then you can share video and including also the assignment, which called the reflective assignments, like the video that group submit, and then the other group will also give the grade, and then the lecturer also can give the grade, and then also this kind of activity can also have a kind of gamification. So in Google Classroom, you don't have that. So one last remark that we already have also the academic production house in Bulak 9. So this is where we produce all of our contents for the dissemination. We have already a channel, UGM channel, 59, almost 60,000 subscriber. So this is also one of the examples from the Dean of the Engineering, Pak Wasis, is about the solution in the pandemic. So it's already 2 weeks ago, we have the recording there. So that's all actually what I can say that first, if you want to make into SKS, you have to take into account the learning outcomes and map into this Indonesian qualification should be level 8. There is a multidisciplinary, there is a creation, because I think if we consider a taxonomy bloom, the creation is, I think, is from level 8 and 9, it's just for master and also for PhD. But the level 6 is just the decision making or something, creating something which is not really in the same level of that. I think that's all from me, Bobby and Bu Yani. Thank you very much. So I hope this is fruitful discussion. I will stop my sharing. Thank you.
Thank you very
Bagus
much,
sekali
Pak
Pak
Irwan.
Irwan, itulah yang kami butuhkan Pak.
Ya,
Istilah
jadi
projectnya
masukan.
di biji Pak dia. Terima kasih Pak. This is very important for our partner ya, Bu Teti, Bu Wewe, Bu Pak John, Julian also reflection from our university ya.
Yeah.
To some extent have to maintain somehow the quality of any exercise we are doing. One critic from Pak Irwan, of course, on the GLO, course learning outcome, the difference between bachelor and master. That's something that we have to discuss for the improvement in the future. Thank you very much, Pak Irwan.
Thank you very much, Pak Irwan. Pak Bobby, would you please invite
the LMS
anyone?
also very interesting for our partner, I think ITB, UNDIP, Brawijaya also have their own LMS. So when we come to the joint studio with several universities, so the issue is which LMS we are going to do, because that's also related to the regulation, right? Whether, for example, if you use ELO, the Gajah Mada LMS system, whether other students from other university can also use that kind of system. Ya, Bu Yani, itu yang kita pikirkan, Bu Yani ya. That's Pak Irwan, mungkin next time we can discuss this one to solve that kind of constraint.
Yeah, actually anyone that the email are invited into the system can join and access ELO ya, Pak Irwan ya.
Yes, our LMS is already capable of handling MOOC, so all other participants around the world, we already use it, that they can also participate and also taking the course in LMS. So actually our LMS is Moodle based, it's also used by Dicti, and also other universities, I think, use it also. Thank you, Prof. Bobby.
Yeah.
Thank you, Pak Irwan. Pak Bobby and Julian, any discussion or maybe from the participants?
Participant ya, Bu Yani.
Yeah. Silahkan Bapak Ibu jika ada pertanyaan seputar ini ya pembelajaran dari International Joint Studio.
Bu Yani, since we have a special guest from Brawijaya, maybe we can ask.
Yeah, maybe Ibu Ismu from Universitas Brawijaya. Would you please share if you have any comments to this International Joint Studio, Bu? Ini Bu Ismu juga sudah menuliskan di chat ini.
Yeah. Okay, first of all, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Pak Bobby, Bu Yani, and other colleagues, I cannot say more rather than two times not enough to give appreciation for this program. To be honest, at the beginning, we feel that, oh, it will work or not, something like that. Very big question, but so far, it ran very well. And everybody at the end could smile very brightly. It's really proud of that we are part of this program. And so, yeah, we have several discussions inside our team. And so, what I mentioned here in the chat, it's also, it seems important because what we have done so far, we could show that's the event, the result also give positive thing. So the next step is that of the very important thing that Pak Irwan already mentioned regarding our competency and etc. It seems that this is the time for us to broaden the news to the more reader, more listener, because as far as we know that social media is become very popular in our country. So in order to spread the good spirit on how to develop our living space, I think we could put the result into more popular way into social media. So we also gave this with a kind of help from the platform that already been available free. We can use it. So basically, what I want to say here, let's make it more inclusive for all. So the whole people would like more understand about how important our planning in regional level or even in district level, because to be honest, for us in Indonesia, planning school is still very young. In the side of view of the academician itself, also practitioner still quite young. So that's why we have so many homework. And if we could use social media, we could collaborate with youth actors or something that we make it more popular. I think, yeah, it's another way to put it like closer approachment to the people itself. That's my hope. But anyway, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Bu Yani, I think Julian
Thank you very
can
much, Bu
respond to
Ismu.
this
Terima kasih.
issue because Julian already have also the same idea how to share this experience to the public. Julian, you have to say.
Thank you, Pak Bobby. Thank you, Ibu. Well, I think it's maybe Pak Bobby referred to the fact that there is online, offline session of the workshop. What we feel very important as urban planner is that we can share a process all together, a learning process, because you know we are overwhelmed with online information and pictures and Zoom conference and so on. And I think it just increases the value of spending time all together in teams, whether intensively through a 2 weeks session or in a longer period of time if we do it offline. But I think in today's world, spending all this time all together jointly is a real precious thing of the workshop. So I think it's the first step, and only after that we can share and promote. And maybe the best ambassadors of this approach are the alumni, that is to say, all the participants, including facilitators, professors, teachers, professionals, and obviously students who shared this experience. We have records in France of participants of international studios who step by step have built up and developed a very powerful network of planners working in very different kind of structures, including internationally. And it works very well because they have a common language. But in order to learn this language, we all need to go through this personal experience of a journey all together, discussing and changing our minds. So I think it's not only a matter of technical skills or concepts, it's a matter of personal experience altogether.
Terima kasih, Julian.
Terima kasih. Thank you, Julian. Thank you, Bu Ismu. We have also hear from NGO, Pak Bobby. I think it would be interesting if we also hear like what their comments, or how they perceive this kind of activities. Maybe from Solidaritas Perempuan Kinasi, anyone, rekan-rekan dari SP Kinasi bisa ini menyampaikan kesan-kesan.
Well, the idea is actually also to invite NGO to be participant or at least observer, ya Bu Yani, ya. So to make this exercise more inclusive for everyone, for everybody.
Ya.
Ada Bu Yani, siapa?
Mas Aji, siapa? Ada dari SP Kinasi? Or from Institut Francois Indonesia, IVI, Yogyakarta.
Indonesia Perancis.
Ya.
Ada Bu Winnie itu dari UNS.
Ya, ada Prof. Winnie.
Okay, can I have some?
Ya, please,
Silakan, Bu.
Okay, thank you very much. Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
I'm Bini Astuti from BWK UNS Surakarta. Yeah, actually, I appreciate very much for this initiation to have the joint studio between among 4 universities and also from France and lots of students here. Yeah, I appreciate Bu Yani, Prof. Bobby, Bu Wiwi, yeah, and also from Brawijaya. I think it is a very challenging and very useful activities how we can enlarge the networks among the university under the planning school associations, or maybe next time we also can collaborate to the government too and NGO. It is very challenging, very useful also. So maybe in the future, hopefully, BWK UNS can also collaborate to this event in the future. We are ready to do this. We have also had maybe an early similar programs like a joint studio with Kota Kita and also with the UCL, University of College London, UCL, Kota Kita, and Banjarmasin. So I think we are ready to have to collaborate and involve in this activity in the future. Thank you. It is a good event. We have to support this very much. Thank you, Pak Bobby, Bu Yani.
Ibu Winnie, I think we have Pak Iwan now. Pak Iwan is our ASPI agenda, ya, to discuss this issue into next ASPI meeting.
Yeah. Also in Solo we have lots of issue also. We have issue of cultural creativity. Yeah, not nearly the same with Yogyakarta. I think it's, yeah, we can have this kind of exercise maybe next on the next event. Thank you.
For Julian and friends, also Pak Irwan, Indonesian Planning School have berapa Pak Irwan? More than 60 members ya. And we are so berapa Pak sekarang?
Currently 74.
Wow,
74.
already 74 planning school, Pak Iwan, from all over Indonesia, and we work very closely. ASPI has 2-3 meetings even every years, yeah, under our president Pak Iwan. Yeah. So even we feel that we personally know each other, ya Pak Iwan. Yeah. So this also very potential for Indonesia among planning school. At the same time, ASPI is also working very closely with Indonesian Planning Association, IAP, Indonesian
Planners Association.
Planners Association.
It's the professional association, and this is very, as Andy mentioned, you know, and the future we can work also together with IAP, yeah, in this regard.
Yeah.
That's also Julian, because I remember Andy also asking you sometimes on the French Planner Association. Is there any French Professional Planner Association, Julian?
Oh, we have plenty of French Planners Association. You know, it's quite messy. It's very French. Every single person wants to create his own association. Actually, the profession of urban planners in France is not very well organized, not like architects or landscapers, where it's very institutional. So it's more networks of alumni that are very strong and powerful.
Oh yeah, UNS also, sorry, UNS also have the lecturer which has been graduated from the French Pak Nurmiladan.
I see.
He has graduated from France, but I don't know exactly what's the university.
Bu Yani, silakan. Ini sudah already 6 minutes to 4. Tapi kalau ada 1-2
maybe the last one here from NGO would also like to have a discussion from Solidaritas Perempuan Kinasi. Actually, this is represented by our student, Mas Wahyu Aji. Silakan.
Thank you. This is very honors for me and I delegates from my organization Solidaritas Perempuan Kinasi. I'm sorry because Miss Hana and Miss Nur, Miss Hana as the main directors of Solidaritas Perempuan Kinasi cannot join this evening's webinars because the others there's activity in our office. We just want to say thank you for the invitations for these webinars, and we would also like to mention about maybe the gender's perspective about these programs. We hope that in the futures we can collaborate to talk or discuss about the gender's plannings in this activities, because we think and we also propose that genders in plannings or genders in infrastructures development is very, very important, and we almost forget about it. And maybe we also shares a lot about our research about climate policy research with the gender perspective responsive gender. We have done our research for 2 until 3 years about climate in gender perspective in Jakarta city, and the results is Yogyakarta has many of programs, many of activity that can collaborate women and the minority groups like disabled and the woman from the reverse kampung, but women doesn't included in almost of the programs because of maybe the programs doesn't have or less of gender perspective. The examples is the one example is like when we talk about bank sampah or sampah bank or trash bank in Yogyakarta city, we don't have the schemes or we don't have the regulations or planning that include our genders, include all minority groups like that. Yeah.
Okay.
And then so we propose this research to Bapeda, to DLH, and to DPM 3 or Dinas Pemberdayaan Perempuan dan Anak for collaborate this planning about climate policy, especially like that.
Okay.
Yes, thank you very much again for Mr. Mulyani to join us.
Thank you, Aji, as a representation of Solidaritas Perempuan Kinasi. Aji actually alumni of International Joint Studio in 2019 as well. Yeah, he is our student in PWK UGM. Okay, maybe closing remarks, Pak Bobby and Julian.
Terima kasih semuanya. Thank you very much for joining this session. Sorry for inconvenience. We prepared this one only a week ago, ya Bu Yani, because we think that something valuable we have to share to publics. Yeah, that's why we organized this seminar, and hopefully participants will have some lesson from our experience. Terima kasih Julian, and terima kasih Bu Teti, Bu Wiwi, Pak John, teman-teman lain dari, sebenarnya nggak hanya Bu Teti ya, hanya Bu siapa Bu Teti dari kelupaan.
Bu Arini juga Pak, ada Bu
Arini, ada dari UNDIP itu ada Bu
Wati, ada Bu Wati juga.
Ya, so quite involving quite many dosen. I forgot to mention, but especially our excellent great student. Ya, terima kasih for participating this one. Terima kasih. Julian, you may have some word.
Please, Julian, closing remarks.
Thank you, Pak Bobby. No, I would really like to thank you again for the impressive organization by UGM. And very honestly, we have been very positively surprised by the quality of students, spokesperson. We know we are very lucky because we are spending time with some of the most skilled and experienced and influential people in the field of urban planning in Indonesia. But we can also note that the next generation of students is very skilled and capable if we compare with the level of education here in France. So it is very promising for the future, and sometimes it's also very inspiring for us to see a country with many problems, but a lot of energy and optimism for the future. And we feel very, very happy and enthusiastic and honored to be part of this cooperation program. So we just say see you very soon for the next step, and we are happy we can just continue our joint journey all together.
Okay, thank you very much, Julian, and every KotaLab team, each of KotaLab team. And once again, we would like to thank you everyone for joining our session today. Thank you for all of the discussions, Pak Iwan, Pak Andi, Pak Irwan, Pak Wahyu. Thank you very much once again for allocating your time. Thank you for all of the partners. Thank you for our colleagues from ASPI, IAP, from other NGOs, and thank you very much for all of the students. Thank you very much for the hard work despite of many challenging situations in this pandemic era. Thank you that you all prove that you can do it very well, cross learning with cross universities and cross degree. So I would like to invite everyone to open or to turn on the camera. We would like to have picture together.
This is the special Bu Yani. Every session should end it with the group picture. But we have to follow our project manager, in this case Bu Yani. As I said before, I'm not really the organizer, but the provocateur only, because all are managed by Bu Yani. Tepuk tangan untuk Bu Yani.
No, applause to everyone actually, Pak Bobi. Applause to everyone. Thank you very much.
Our
Thank
team,
you.
Dimas.
Pak Bobi as well.
And
Thank
also
you.
our assistant Raisa.
Mbak Raisa.
Tepuk tangan ini.
Thank you. Thank you our
Sempat
partner
nangis
once
ya,
again.
Raisa sempat nangis kalau nggak salah.
Ya, terima kasih Bapak Ibu.
Thank you. Terima kasih.
Sekarang bisa ini ya, kita berfoto bersama, bisa dibantu Mbak Raisa, bisa diababain atau Mas Dito mungkin baru masuk bisa langsung bantu. Ya.
Bentar Ibu, maaf.
Ya, nggak apa-apa.
Boleh tinggal ini sama Ortiz kayak
1, 2, 3. Slide 1.
Next slide.
Yeah, next slide. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Then the last slide. 1, 2, 3.
Usama, how are you doing, Usama?
Terima kasih Bapak
I'm good,
Ibu.
Pak.
Adik-adik mahasiswa semoga lancar ujiannya ya. Good luck with your final exam this semester.
Bu Yani, kita janji sertifikat
Terima
also
kasih
ya.
Bapak Ibu.
Next time
Ya,
ya.
so we will. Terima kasih Bapak Ibu semua. Thank you very
Sydney, how are you
much.
doing, Sydney?
Terima kasih, ketemu.
Terima kasih.
Terima kasih, Prof.
Prof.
Bobi.
Terima kasih Prof Winnie. Terima kasih Bu Ismu.
Bu Wiwi.
Pak Adi Pandang dari Brawijaya, dari
Teti.
teman-teman
Pak
dari
Bobi, apa kabar Pak Bobi?
Terima kasih.
Tapi ya, wajahnya nggak berubah.
Terima kasih Pak Wahyu.
See you.
See you Bu Winnie. Okay, for all participants
Pak
of
Wahyu,
the we will give you certificate ya.
Saya anak buahnya Pak Wahyu. Pak Wahyu, terima kasih Pak Wahyu.
Terima kasih Pak Morris.
Mana Pak Deva? Wahyu.
Floor, thank you. Thank you. Terima kasih Bu Teti.
Yuk semuanya.
Bu Arini semuanya.
Thank you Bapak Ibu.
Ya, terima kasih. Sertifikatnya menyusul ya, teman-teman.
Don't worry. We will
Ya.
sign by all facilitator.
Ya. Thank you very much. Tadi ada dari BKSDA Jawa Timur. Ya.
Ya, sampai 111 tadi yang paling tinggi ya Mas.
Iya.
111 participant I guess join the seminar. And
Yep.
then of